So what is going on, people? I know these are gonna blow up. I know these videos are gonna blow up soon. Mostly because people are gonna think I'm crazy. That's gonna be the best part. When all of you realize that, like, yeah, truth is a bitch. Truth is just a big bitch. So there's a bunch of kids on YouTube right now prophesying about like Jesus' return and everything like that. There's a lot of events that have happened within this past year alone that correlate directly with the end time signs and everything like that. There's a bunch of signs. And if you're a Christian, you can see it and you're just like, cool, we're waiting. Like, we're waiting for Christ to return. Saddest part is like, we still got some time, boys. We still got some time, all right, before he does. That's why it's so important to be diligent in your faith. It's very important to stay close to Christ in the time that he gives you here before you do die. Because nothing is certain for any of us here. The only thing that we know for certain, some of us, is that death is around the corner. But I want to touch on like why Christ had to die. The pain and agony that he sat in for 3 days was literally to make an appeasement to God. Like an appeasement to let God know, yeah, you're not pissed anymore. Because like he actually had to feel the writhing agony of what being completely useless would feel like to someone, just to have his servants, like his servants. So when I say that, like I even touched on this last episode, like I'm a servant that's been here, like I've been here many, many times before since he's died. I'm gonna hit you with another truth, because get ready. The best thing Christians can do today is just consistently pray. One of the only things that we don't ever do as Christians today is never cease prayer. The reason Jesus says to never cease prayer is because we can bring ourselves closer to him every single day in a conversation. No one does that. Like, no, I mean, I'm sure some people do, yes. But all these younger Christians and stuff like that go to church like once a week. I mean, you got to think about a time when people used to die for Christ. Like, people used to have their body ripped to shreds. Like, there's not that kind of faith these days. There's not that kind of like, oh, I love you kind of faith. There's like, I know you kind of faith. There's like, hey, I'm with you in a small little way, you know? So, I want to say that all of this gets better, but man, I want you to all really think about why God stays so silent. It's because he is in control. And it's terrifying how much control he's in. Like, the first steps of wisdom is fear of God. And if you're not in the fear of God, then you aren't learning much of anything. Because the best and worst parts of everything is how far we step out of line. We have choices in our everyday lives that grow us or kill us. Sin kills us, and most of you don't even understand how much it can kill you. It actually kills your heart, and it destroys like your vessel, like your actual body. It destroys your actual body. Look at my arms, for instance. See all these red dots? That, I have a whole science behind it. He's taught me a whole science behind it. Like, there's like antimatter, positive matter, negative matter, all of this stuff. There's a whole science, but I'm not going to get into that crap. Because I just want you to know one thing. The reason I have these red dots on me is the same reason Job got so pissed in the Bible. He started itching and scratching all this stuff off of him, and it's because God was waking him up to his sin. Sin's a bitch. And you all really need to understand that. Like, we're kept sleeping in time here. Most of us don't even understand how cool that is for us. Like, that's a peace, to be kept sleeping. But to be awoken and to be serving, the reason you get beaten so much with knowledge is because it gets funny. It gets funny for those. The whole thing I just want to step on is the idea that most of you think you're alone. The reason Christ died here was so his spirit could be with us all. That's why we're all his, and that's why he died, to protect us, is because the thing inside of us that literally tries to kill us succeeds. So when you see that the blood atonement had to be made 100% to just even bring his spirit closer to us, to protect us, it really makes a lot more sense than anyone just thinking that, like, yeah, he's just a prayer bubble. Like, he's just someone we pray to, like, up above. No, brother, sister, he is here. Like, all day, every day watching us. Like, right now, no 100%, like, no kidding. Like, there's not a moment you have alone. You have family around you in spirit. You have, I mean, just think about, like, where do you think the dead ones of your loved ones go? They're here. If they aren't in heaven, they're here. There's so much lineage that has, like, all around been wrapped around us, like, that everyone sees that has died. So once you die, you have the chance to either A, be reincarnated, or just wait to see the pain and agony of just everyday life unfold. Because when you realize God hates everything as much as he does, it's a whole head scratch. It's just like, whoa, what have I been doing, huh? Yeah. I don't know how to stress it enough, but I know these videos are going to get to somewhere, to someone. And this is going to explode. This is just really going to explode, because God knows that. I mean, he knows what he's doing here. So I'm just trying to get the little bit of content out that I can to start this off. Because, man, how do you get a mass of people to understand something that they've been being told since the beginning? That A, Christ is going to return, and B, sin is a bitch. How do you get them to understand that when all you've been telling them is the same thing from the beginning? You wait for them to die. And when they die and realize that their spirit is still here, yeah, that's when the real fun begins. Because all of everything you care about is what gets manipulatively played with. Because if you don't care about God, he knows you care about something. You care about your kids. You care about your family. And those two things alone kill you. When you realize you can't protect those two things, especially if you're a man, yeah, get ready. Because, buddy, God's a lot stronger. And it sucks. But when you realize this place goes around and around and around and around, congratulations. That's a whole truth. Most of you don't even realize that you've been here before, dying on repeat, because he doesn't know what to do with your spirit. That's hilarious if you really think about it. He doesn't even know what to do with your spirit because you don't know what to do with yourself. And he's God, so he's patient. Like, y'all understand he's eternal. Like, especially if you're a Christ believer, you understand that, like, we're hoping for eternity. So congratulations when I say I'm back from it. Get terrified. Because, man, there's no light way to put this stuff. The laughs that we get to have, that's the peace he gives us. Because the sin alone of everything of not knowing in a time. For instance, I was Mayan. We didn't even know Christ then. Like, having the pain and agony of fornication alone inside your DNA. Hold on, I'll step back for a second. Because I want to explain how the DNA and sin are two and two together. The moment you sin is the moment that sin is wrapped around your DNA. The moment you sin is the moment it hits repeat. It doesn't leave. That's why he even says in the Bible, he visits the iniquities of the fathers upon generations. Because it's traveling through DNA. So when you all see that the reason, like, it took one sin to kill an entire species of us as humans, we're still dying. We're still all dying in sin. Because I woke up, right? Like, I woke up. I didn't even know God existed. How scary is that shit? Like, how scary is it to not even think that God existed, but to know you've known God in past lives? That's scary. Like, that's terrifying if you really think about it. And I told my testimony before, but I'll hit it on a moment. One day I literally was just seeing all these kids prophesying stuff about Jesus and his return, about all these events and stuff. And I was like, this is insane. Like, what's happening? Which is, a normal response to seeing truth hit and like all of these things correlate in time. But for some unknown reason, all it took was 1 second for me just to ask out loud. I was like, God, do you exist? Please answer me with thunder. And he did. That was it. That was just it. It was plain as day. It was just the most simplest of things that I've ever even witnessed inside my entire life. So, if you have a problem of God not answering you, understand it's probably because you don't answer to God. Because I'll tell you what, from that day forth, I was a complete, devotee. I was like, you got me. I'm gone. I dropped everything. I'm damn near willing to rip this eye out. You know why? It keeps getting me to look. As crazy as that shit can sound. What do you think it can get me to look at? This world is nothing but just lust after lust after lust. And I shit you not. You have no idea how much anger it takes a person to just be like, yeah, I'm going to rip it out. I'm going to rip it out. A person that gets to that kind of point, how mad do you think they are about stuff? Because I shit you not. One day, I might pull a hat trick out of my book and just be like, you remember that day I told y'all? Yeah? Oh, it's freaking here. The only problem is you look crazy in front of people. That's the best part about this damn place now. You can't tell anyone anything without being damn near insane about it. It's hilarious. It's honest to God hilarious. Because even talking out loud and stuff like that, in prayer to spirits or anything like that, which is something I do constantly because they're always here just watching, which is hilarious if you really think about it. Because I'll hit on this for a moment. You know how many times I thought I was in silence as a kid, masturbating and stuff like that? Get joking, kids, because man, it ain't one, I'll tell you that. You know why Jesus died, though? It's because he loves us. He loves us enough to show us some funny stuff about how funny it isn't. Because I kid you not, when you all die, one day, inevitably, because of sin, I just want you to know that it's because sin actually destroys the lifespan of your vessel. The reason they lived so long in the beginning is, yes, they had access to the knowledge or the tree of life, but it was also because they didn't sin nearly as much. So when you see that time has progressively gotten worse inside of knowledge, it's because we started dying a lot quicker with everything that was trying to kill us. We didn't know any better. I died at the age of 26 here. I'm about to turn 21, and that's why he woke me up. He told me he was going to give me 7 years of peace. He said it was for the boy too. So I want you to all understand what peace looks like to God. A big slap to the face. Just a big, a wake up. Like a big wake up. I don't know how to stress it enough, though. Because when you see my predecessors, Christ, look at the way Christ died. Most people don't even think Christ existed today. How insane is that one? Same, even in school, they don't teach us that God exists. I went through my entire high school curriculum and everything, and they even took God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Ask yourselves how far we're straying away and get terrified. Because that's why these workers are here, and that's why your sons and daughters are prophesying. Because, buddy, this is terrifying if you really think about it. Because the farther you wander away from God, the less he starts caring about you. That's what I really want to show you. And the less he cares about you, the more scared you should get. It's because he loves everyone. He loved everyone enough to die for them. And he can't die. It is an even more terrifying part. The only reason he came into a physical was so the physical could experience pain. And he's God. The only pain that he throws around the most is an emotional pain. That's the only pain he's been throwing me through, is an emotional pain. So I shit you not, this is peace. This is the most peaceful time that there's probably been in a fat moment, for Christians especially. But y'all gotta see this. This is just, all this shit, Just a big no-no. That's how he's slapping us. He's just like, y'all are kids, get up. But man, when you realize that's probably the best that it gets for you, is that you're a kid and you were born here and you didn't know anything, you're going to be terrified still what lightly means in a beating. Because, again, if you're a man and you can't protect the things you love, which is what he hurts, the things you love and the people you love because of sin, y'all are all going to get terrified that you love so much. Because that's how he covers it all up. The reverse reciprocation of your love, the pain that you feel, is when he stops. When you realize why he stopped, because you finally felt something, it gets even scarier if you don't feel shit. So understand that even out there in this world, your love dies slowly. And when you realize most of you start caring less about things, wonder how long it takes you to start caring about something when it involves like your family. Because man, oh man, oh man, y'all are going to be pissed. Just like he said in the garden, it was to build the animosity between the seed and the serpent. The serpent is the little bitch that kills us. And I mean, I'm not even taking this light. Like, y'all got to understand this. Like, this is almost a casual little talk. Like, if I could stress it even a little bit more, it would just be through plainness too. Like, I mean, I don't know. I know how to stress it. Like, back in the day, they used to kill people for sinning. I hope y'all know that. Like, I've been A1 ready to start stabbing people for this. Because, like, y'all don't know how much y'all are killing each other. Just for the things y'all are doing. Like, every look your little eye does, men, every little look, your seller gets to commit adultery too, homie. And your seller is the Hebrew word for your side in the Bible. So when you realize we're all separated from our sides, like our other halves, our better halves, and every time you look, she gets to commit adultery, or even the woman you're here with gets to commit adultery, homie, get upset. Because I kid you not, if that doesn't kill you alone, you need to see how far your care's gone, buddy. Because, man, that's all it does here, is it just kills. Kills. Kills and steals and destroys. That's its motto, actually. It's got a whole team going for it. And I kid you not, he's made this levels here. Like, he's actually made it levels for good reasons. It's because we all level up throughout this place. You either level up in sin or you level up in Christ. And it's like, oh no, which side are you on? If that isn't kind of funny to you, then buckle up, buddy, because it almost doesn't get better than that. Especially because, like, y'all gotta see this. Like, this is fresh knowledge to, like, I mean, I haven't heard this from anyone. But I'm like, cool a lot, because God is God, and he has not been absent. I'll tell you that much. He's just been waiting for us to do the most stupid, silliest stuff that But I want to hit on Job again, though, because I want everyone to get upset about one thing. We have an actual power here, and it's called the law of attraction. When you realize our vibrations emit a tone that we get our desires, that's what Lucifer Morningstar plays with the most. We get what we want. So when you realize he makes us want a lot of this world, get sad, because that's how he traps you. I kid you not. Like, if I could explain it in the most simplest of ways, I was looking for love. And I attracted it, right? I attracted the word love. But man, as vicious and vindictive as it sounds, it's like the most ironic thing that can happen to someone when they demand from the universe. They die. Because God's like, I have a plan for you, and our demands and our desires disrupt this plan. And these desires come from sin. Most of the time it comes from sin. It comes from our own arrogance and our own, like, want of just a craving. it kills you. It wholeheartedly just kills you. Because there's not gonna be a big win for most of us here. I'm gonna touch on one last thing before I end this video. Again, these are just to kind of get y'all's minds flowing and to the realization that, yeah, wake up, wake up, wake up. If you feel like you've been here before, get up, because man, it is that time. Like a holy shit, get up. Because I kid you not, y'all gotta see this. And when you see this, and if you've seen it before, congratulate yourselves, because it means you're somewhere among decent. Because there's none good except the Father. I'll tell you that much, dude. Whew. When I tell you this last little truth, most of you get pissed off. Especially today in like modern day feminist society. But get really pissed, women. Get really, really pissed. I dare you. You know why God sets order down? And why kings are kings and queens are queens? It's because kings are above queens. And today we live in a world where queens try and rise. That's what's really going to piss y'all off. When you feel this self-entitlement. Because that kills you. That alone kills you. When you realize it's a man's job to take care of a woman, and most people call it misogynistic to look this way, I want you to all get really upset that this entire reality is mind-bended backwards now. Because the reason he promises 46 virgins, there's a whole reason. Most of you are going to get pissed. I kid you not. Get ready. There's a reason everyone in the society, I kid you not, is damn near just a sex slave. Look at what y'all are doing out there. Most of you are fornicating. Most of you are committing idolatry with idols and shit like that. Like people, y'all just, like y'all sing along to Jay-Z and stuff like that. Like y'all praise Jay-Z and stuff like, I love you. You know how weird that is? That you love a person more than you love God. You love a person more than you go to church on a week. That's weird. I'll tell you that. Like at the very least, that's just crazy. Even the whole, like, I won't get on that. Hold on. I'm going to get on that in a second, actually. But this video is really, if you made it this far, it's going to piss you off. Get ready. The reason we get 46 virgins, it's almost ironic. Because look at how many people are dying in abortion. So do you think it's more funny to say that God gives those souls away and you made them into sex slaves or you made them into servants? Or do you think it's funnier that the parents killed them? So when you see that that's the level of care that they get to be brought to, and the parents might even be a little upset by that kind of truth, what's more hypocritical? They wanted those kids to die, or those little seeds never die? That's what I really want to tell you. So we all live forever. The reason some of us get planted in the garden and some of us don't, it's because some of us are consistently on repeat. I'm a little afraid, even myself, that I've been living consistently on repeat, being a servant. I want you to be terrified, because I know when I die, I go in spirit. When I die, I get a spirit time. But when I feel like that spirit time is to only teach me a couple more things before I go back to serve again, I'm dead ass serious. There's a reason we have a spirit time, and the reason some of you die and go back in spirit is because your spirit is eternal, you idiots. Your spirit is actually eternal. So when you realize that, yes, your baby that you just so willingly kill goes to maybe just damn near hell, and he gives that little baby a chance to live because he's big love, he just wants you to see how shitty of a parent you are. And I kid you not, that's the reason there's so many souls to go around. That's the reason that 46 is there. I even have a whole thing about the numbers to show you, because numbers matter. Numbers are a big meaning. And the 46 itself means something, but I don't need to give you another reason. I need some of you to believe on the first time. Because I shit you not, it pisses me off that most of you still don't believe anything. It's damn near funny. One last hint. Lies are bad. Lies are viciously and vindictively bad. They break minds. That's why it's so hard to get truth to most of you. It's because most of you have been lied to so much that stuff just doesn't stick the way that it should. I don't know what else to say to y'all. I think I'm going to end it there. I think I'm going to hit y'all back in another day or two. See where that gets me. Stay blessed. And if you have God, start praying. Start praying a lot. Fast. Worship. Because, man, if you only knew how much He loved you to keep you alive, that's the blessing. He keeps you alive. After all you tried to do is kill yourselves. So get up. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. I got more bitch slapping facts to come on tomorrow, too. Get ready. Love y'all.